Miki, I'm a Kristen. I'm super excited to be with you to talk all about our journey in buying a house in Sicily as Americans. Today, I thought you might be interested in how we get between the mainland of Europe and Sicily. So let's take a second and check it out. All right, currently there are two main ways for you to get to Sicily from the mainland of Europe, whether that be Italy, France, London, whatever it is. But the main ways for you to get there is going to be flights and ferry. Flights and ferry. So we'll start with flights. There are three main airlines that we see used frequently between Rome, Italy, Paris. Pick anywhere else you want to. That's going to get you into Sicily. There's going to be two main airports in Sicily. Catania is going to be on the east side, and then Palermo is on the west side. So depending on where you want to go, the island's only like 3 hours from one side to the other. So it's not like it's that deep to get across it. So anyway, so if you're going to either fly into Palermo or you're going to fly into Catania based on which part of the island you're planning on going to first. Hopefully you'll explore the whole island. And so there's three main airlines that we see regularly get used. The first is ITA. That's by far our favorite, mainly because each one of these places, even though they're low cost carriers, they charge ridiculous amounts of money for bags. Like your suitcases to get over there is what will crush you. Will crush you. So like if you've literally just got a backpack, cool, you probably can get away with all kinds of stuff. That's not how I travel, especially not when I'm going to be gone for multiple weeks at a time. So first one I'm going to say is ITA. It's our favorite. Got a great relationship with Delta. You can't transfer points necessarily between the two of those, but you can definitely. I say ITA is the closest parallel to Delta when you are talking about moving between Rome and Sicily, for example. The second one is called Aero Italia. Aero Italia. And it's probably, I would say, the second, it's a little more on the expensive side. But what I have found is when I buy the bags on it, it always ends up outpricing the ITA one. So I like Aerojet. I mean, not Aerojet. I like Aero Italia. Italia. It's a good one. Plane that I've been on has been fantastic. I haven't had any problems with the actual planes. So that would be sort of my second choice. But again, make sure that you're comparing what the packages are, because they're always going to have packages on all three of these. When you start actually putting in the baggage, sometimes they require seats, sometimes they don't. When they put all that in, then you need to see what the total price is. So make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Does that make sense? And the last one is Ryanair. We have flown on Ryanair. Ryanair is desperately cheap, unbelievably cheap flights. Not anything else, right? You're going to pay for a bag. You're going to pay for a seat. You're going to pay for, right? Now, here's the good news. It's literally like less than an hour from Rome to Sicily. So again, if you're not taking a lot of bags, then no big deal. Take the cheap flight. There's been lots of times where we've just gone with whatever the super cheap flight was because we just had a carry-on, but and not a carry-on. The other thing I will tell you about Ryanair is they are so particular about the size of your bag. If it does not fit exactly, they will charge you, and they charge you stupid amounts of money. Stupid amounts of money. Okay. So I would say if you're going to go between those places, I would say my favorite's ITA, Aero Italia would be second, Ryanair would be third, but you need to make sure you're comparing. Now, here's the thing. All three of those, even with bags, is almost always going to be cheaper than most of your American flights. I've seen Ryanair flights that are from Rome to Sicily round trip for $35. That's preposterous. But then you've got a $75 bag on top of it. So make sure you're checking the actual bag price. But getting between, like being able to do weekend trips, and that's part of why we love Sicily. It's really inexpensive to live there, and it's really inexpensive to fly from there. So it'll be easier for us to be able to go and explore Switzerland, parts of Tuscany, things like that, because it's not expensive to get between those two. The second way to do it is to go from the actual mainland of Italy on a ferry to either Palermo or over to Sicily. I mean, over to Catania. I think there might, no, there's one in Messina. That's the one that we plan to use the most because we're closest over to Messina. So make sure that you are looking at the ferry. The ferry between Messina and the tip of the boot of Italy is really close. They're really close together. It's not like an 8 hour English Channel journey from hell, right? It's a very short one. You just drive your rental car right up on that boat, go explore the boat for a little while, get a nice view. Literally from our house in Messina, Sicily, we can see the coastland. Like it looks really close. So ferry is another option for you. It's inexpensive, but in particular, if you're wanting to be able to have a car and you're going to explore parts of Italy and you're going to explore Sicily, I found rental cars super affordable. Here's one of the things I will tell you about the rental cars in Sicily, though. Pay the insurance. Pay the insurance. Somebody will knock into you. The roads are really narrow. You will end up hitting something, scraping something. Pay the insurance. Do not try to wing it. Pay the insurance. Get the full coverage. In Italy, people drive woohoo, cuckoo. But beyond that, the streets are super narrow, and you never know when you're going to get to a place where you're like, I don't know. We're just going to have to figure it out and hope it doesn't scratch it up too bad. So always, I would say always get the insurance on the car. So those are your two main things. There was a little diversion there, but the two main things you got to know is you can get on the airplane or you can get on a ferry. Right now, supposedly they're going to build a bridge to Messina. God, I hope that happens. For me personally, no one else that I've talked to in Italy remotely wants it or thinks it'll ever happen. So it'd be great for me, but not so much for everybody else. But yeah, those are the two main ways. And again, super affordable flights between. Definitely take advantage of that. If you're heading over to Italy, don't miss Sicily. It's really not that expensive, and you'll have an absolutely amazing time with some of the most amazing people on one of the most beautiful parts of Italy. Ciao.